Tonight on Nova, bloody battles, sinister traps. Microphotography reveals hundreds of hidden worlds teeming with life. But wait, what is this mysterious creature? You know them better than you think. Crawling on your clothing, pulling on your hair, even snacking on your skin. Odyssey of Life continues with the Unknown World. Nova is funded by Prudential.
Living well isn't about being rich. It's about freedom and independence and taking control of your future. So make a plan. Be your own rock.
And by Merck.
Merck, pharmaceutical research. Dedicated to preventing disease and improving health. Merck, committed to bringing out the best in medicine.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you.
There is a world unknown to most of us. It exists side by side with our own. A world of radically different perspectives, where a drop of water can be home. Those who live here eat the books we prize, devour our plants, stalk each other without mercy. They even stalk us through the strange and eerie landscapes of our bodies. Tiny monsters, revealed by special optics and microphotography. Our next-door neighbors. The stuff of nightmares, if we dare to look. In their world, even a head is unfamiliar terrain. And the palm of a hand is like a furrowed field. This unknown world is just too small for us to take notice. We see only our world built on our scale, large, open, and familiar. We don't even know what we're missing. In the unknown world, our chest hair is an overgrown jungle. Our scalp is a tropical rainforest. And here are the fertile hillsides of the forearm. The desolate desert of the inside of the wrist. The vast wasteland of the sole of the foot. The body we think we know is really an illusion, born of our limited perspective. Sometimes, of course, ignorance is bliss. It's not easy accepting the fact that billions of other organisms live on and in us. Most of them are bacteria like these. A microscopic swarm in a drop of sweat. Some of our closest companions have never been introduced to us. The hair follicle mite lives in holes in our scalp through which hair grows, a kind of tiny parasitic mole. It looks like a science fiction creature, but it's only 1/250th of an inch long. That's small enough to escape the attention of our nerve cells. Otherwise, we'd never stop scratching. Just knowing they exist is bad enough. The mites especially like the large follicles of our eyelashes. They thrive on fat and dirt and have even developed a taste for mascara. But for other denizens of the unknown world, there's a much more abundant food source nearby. It's our skin, constantly renewed by new cells pushing up older ones. The top layer is made up of dead, compacted cells. Every hour, we shed 1.5 million skin flakes. And each one has its own colony of hitchhiking bacteria. The air is full of these small pieces of ourselves and the microorganisms that call them home. What we see in the mirror is a layer of dead cells soon to be cast off. Still, even dead cells have their appeal.
How do I look?
Absolutely beautiful. But change the perspective, and it's a different story. When we're finally forced to face reality, we find that dead skin makes up 90% of the dust on our floors, not to mention an army of creeping, crawling creatures. This is the front end of a dust mite, seen through an electron microscope. It's about 1/80th of an inch long, impossible to see with the naked eye. Its diet is mostly skin flakes, and there are more than enough to go around. It's a never-ending feast, and we're the purveyors, like it or not. Dust mites are everywhere we are. Here we see one of them enjoying his dinner, although his table manners could use a bit of improvement. Clearly, his parents never cautioned him against playing with his food. If you think you can get away from dust mites, think again. Even in our beds, they keep us company. They move easily through the weave of blankets and sheets in search of more food. They scavenge when we're awake and when we're asleep. They are insatiable. But why not go to the source itself, our own skin? Food is everywhere, waiting to be harvested. But before you run to take a shower, consider this. Dust mites are really sanitation workers who help clean up our mess. Mites play an essential role in the ecological process, turning our biological waste into their food. So when we eat breakfast, they eat breakfast too. In fact, For every source of food, there's a group of hungry organisms scanning the menu. If we're not the specialty of the house, then something else will be.
See you tonight, darling. I'll be home by 6.
This may look like a closet, but it's really a restaurant for insect gourmets. You can tell if they really like an entree by the holes. These small white larvae of the common clothes moth are especially fond of wool and fur. When they're fully mature, these well-fed larvae will reach the final stage of their development, becoming moths who will produce the next hungry generation. But wool and cotton aren't the only things on the menu. There's also a tasty fur coat, which the fur beetle swears by. It lives deep within the fibers of the coat, and it lays its eggs there. For the yellowish-brown larvae that hatch, home is also breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They move using 3 pairs of legs and their jointed bodies. Between their eyes are powerful jaws that can saw off the hairs of the fur as their legs grip them securely. Fur beetles are discreet animals whom we seldom see. We only know they're here when we see their handiwork, especially when their favorite meal is a favorite dress. But there's no point in taking it personally. Like us, they eat to survive. Even in our prestigious halls of learning, there's a legion of ravenous creatures waiting for us to turn our backs. No door, no lock can keep them out. When we leave at the end of our day, their day begins. To these creatures, precious books are nothing but dead wood, no different from a stump or fallen branch. The subjects are irrelevant, the fine leather bindings just more organic material to break down and recycle. You wouldn't know it from looking at them, but silverfish have an ancient pedigree. They haven't changed much in 500 million years. They grow to about 1/3 of an inch long and prefer old yellowed paper. With the help of an enzyme, they break down the cellulose in paper into food. Unfortunately, they're quite illiterate and make no distinction between Hamlet and yesterday's newspaper. They like them both equally. The printed page has a number of aficionados in the insect world, including the pseudoscorpion, a miniature predator always on the prowl. It lives on a diet of book lice, another lover of paper. The louse is killed by poison secreted by the scorpion's claws. Then the scorpion is off to the next victim, wherever it may be browsing. Our finest museums also have an unknown world of hungry organisms, and they're everywhere, even if we never see them. Their victims can do nothing but stare at us reproachfully. Mighty once, they are helpless now. Imagine the indignity of it. In every museum of natural history, stuffed animals, long dead, are food for the living. In the lion's fur, hidden from sight, the microscopic museum beetle is busy, admiring the taxidermist's art. The museum beetle is a close relative of the fur beetle, with similar tastes but only half the size. It loves the protein in hair and feathers and relishes fat and dirt. It eats delicately, one hair at a time. But in the long run, it's the scourge of every curator. The museum beetle doesn't limit itself to stuffed lions. Instead, it savors all sorts of collections. Dried insects are a prime target. The museum beetle has no respect for science. A rare specimen is just another snack. A collection that took decades to assemble can be ravaged in days. Not that most of these specimens wouldn't have done the same, given the chance. But there's more here to eat than just dead animals. There's also a vast quantity of other organic material. The exhibition cases are framed with wood. And wood can be food, or shelter, or both, to a wide range of organisms. The holes signal the presence of an army of tiny wood eaters. Beneath the surface, you can find an endless system of tunnels and the creatures that make them. The white larvae of the old house borer will stick around as long as there's wood to gnaw. This is the old house borer's colleague, the carpenter ant, for whom wood isn't food, but shelter. It tunnels through the wood to make its nest.